I broke that off without looking at the soundboard this time. I got my hang. Bridging the Gap, episode 26. Yes, sir. 25. I'm getting ahead of myself. Look. What's happening, man?
Is you a little higher?
Look. Go ahead. Raise it up. You got it.
How do I do it?
Yeah. There you go. Right there. You got it. Good look. You see that? Bridging the Gap, man. We got the OG handling his own microphone crane. What's happening? Here we go. Episode 25. It's a quarter. Making that happen. 2 dimes and a nickel. Hey, I'm here, young OG. My math was nice. That was quick.
I was impressed.
That was a quick, we had to throw a couple of assists on that one. Episode 25 here, live and direct from Dubai, the United Arab Emirates, paradise on earth, as some would say. I'm here with my OG, Jules the Jeweler. Talk to him, big guy. What's happening?
Come on, man. Let's not start this.
I just want to let y'all know, stop.
My bad.
There you go. You asked me to say something, then you want to cut me off with something. All right. That's how John played me. Right. Going into year 2, Ethan needs to be in control of that. Right? We need to take that away from him. But no, man, I mean, I'm it's middle of the week.
Yeah, man.
So,
yeah.
one more day, and then we got a little breathing room before our big event.
Yeah.
And, then we'll start a new week, and then we're getting closer to that time where we get on that bird and go home and see friends and family for a minute. So it's, it's a happy time right now.
Man, today is Tuesday. This is today. What's this? Hump day for us. This is the hump day over here for us. It definitely felt like it today.
Yeah.
It ain't felt like that in a while, but today was one of them days where I was like, ooh. I don't know what it was. Sometimes we all get into that funk to where it's just like, man, I don't know. Maybe it's my body telling me.
It's the workload.
Yeah.
I mean, we're starting a new business, and we're working around the clock. We technically don't have any days off.
It's funny though, because sometimes I get into a space where I feel like I'm not doing enough.
Yeah, I feel that way a lot.
Oh, look, here you go. Look, we on camera now. You gonna disrespect me like this? Now everybody gonna think you just got some poo putt you carried around.
No. I'm just saying, but don't dish it out the E, and then you can't take it yourself.
Put some respect on my name.
There he is.
You understand?
That's what I'm saying.
That's his response to everything, right?
I just want a little respect.
Okay.
That's all. Oh, so first is the workload. Now I don't really be doing anything.
No, I'm saying you could be doing more because you're so young, strong, educated. You're educated. You got a great personality.
Oh, man.
Sometimes you hold back a little too much.
Oh man, he gave me a lot of compliments. Right. It's the compliments that you get when you know that it's really a back end right there. Like he's like, I'm giving you a compliment, but I'm really being sarcastic. It's cool though. I've been around here 15 years.
Those that know me know I'm not sarcastic like that though.
Listen, man, are you serious, man?
Everybody knows what you see is what you get.
What you see is definitely what you get. But what they also know is you might be the king of sarcasm. Man, you lucky I can't find my other button. I got something for that though.
As long as you get that record button, I'm good.
No, we press record early now.
All right.
Yeah, a lot of people. A lot of people was like, "Yo, King was like he really pissed off."
Man, listen,
I told him I was producing it like Diddy. Yeah. I had to bring some flair to it, like making the band.
Man, I ain't walking across the bridge getting no
some cheesecake. Look, some cheesecake. We heading to juniors, baby. How bad do you want it? I'm gonna get that drop next. I'm gonna have a couple Diddy drops on here. I should have had that already anyway. Diddy got some classic ones.
Sure,
he got some classic ones. But as Coach hinted to earlier, we are here with a heavy workload. One that we don't mind though, because in the state of the world now and business around the world, we're in a space where we got an opportunity that looks bright. We're here building our brand, Hoop Mountain Dubai. That's Hoopmountain.ae online and Hoopmountain.DXB on Instagram. You can find us, reach out to us. We do training and all those good things, but really we're just building a basketball community.
Right.
Trying to grow the game. As we said, this is my OG, known for 15 years, and that's a relationship that's been fostered because of basketball. So we're here trying to, embellish and put some of that same experience into these kids' lives, families' lives. That's one interesting thing you've probably seen plenty of times, but I haven't. But how relationships form between families because the two kids got to have play dates or they build friendships here. And now you see mom and dad hanging out and it's like, oh man, like it just happened.
Yeah. So often, kids come into our program, whether it be Hoopmountain.ae or other instances where you and I have worked together, and they may be a little, how can I say it, closed off from dealing with other kids on a regular basis, a little shy. And one thing we do is not only help you improve your basketball game, your basketball knowledge, but also bring out your personality. Because basketball is a social sport. And if you can't talk and get a chance to mingle with others, you'll have a hard time in the sport. So we've seen that, come out in a lot of kids this year and their parents as well. And that's good for us.
Yeah, that's what's dope, right? The personality.
Yeah.
That makes things fun. That's what's dope about basketball, right? Everybody has his own playing style. And a lot of that has to do with your personality, right? That's one of the things that a knock on LeBron about how much fun he has, how unselfish he is and all those other things. But if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, he's that unselfish off the court.
Right.
He's goofy, always wanting to have fun off the court.
Right.
You pointed out to me earlier, everybody who's ever played with him always talk about how he was the best teammate. Everybody went to dinner together. Yeah. They went to the clubs together. Everything was inclusive, like a family thing. That's vindictive, and that represents those, that personality.
Yeah. Because it's crazy. Even people that went through the fires with him or won a championship with him and was traded the next year, whatever, nobody seems to have hard feelings against him.
Nobody.
So that's, from the outside looking in, it looks like, he's doing the right thing.
Where and really nobody in the league says anything about him, like even opposing people.
Yeah.
That's one of those half things where you feel like, are people really afraid of Bron? Or do they just have so much respect for him as a person? He's just so cool. It's just like,
I don't think anybody's afraid of him because he doesn't go at you the way we would like him to go at you.
Yeah,
If that was, Kobe or MJ.
Different.
It might be
different. It's different. It's different. But playoffs are coming.
Yeah.
He made a little statement. We're going to get in here with the NBA news, but he made a little statement. He's 17 seasons straight where he averaged 25. Only time he didn't average 25 was his rookie year. And anybody that came close to that was like Jordan, Kobe, and maybe Wilt, where they averaged 12 straight seasons of 25. But LeBron said, 17 years straight averaging 25, but I'm still not in the conversation of elite scorers.
Yeah, he's got a point.
Yeah.
He got a point.
But I gotta say, Bron, your offensive package, it ain't that proper. The posture can be a little different.
Yeah, but it's about effectiveness. We talk about some of the better players in some of the previous eras, and we always talk about Clyde Drexler.
Yeah,
if you could cut Clyde Drexler's left hand off and donate it to science, he'd still get 20. You know what I'm saying? And he was still getting buckets on Jordan and all them dudes. So.
Yeah.
Hey.
He said cut his hand off and donate it to science. Yeah. And he still gonna find a way to his left.
Hey, man. Karl Malone didn't have a back-to-the-basket game.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just, if you can get it done, you and I talk about, we went back and forth about this a lot. I think last year we were talking about Pandemic P and Scottie Pippen, the comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Pandemic P, Paul George, his game is real smooth and sexy. It's that sports car when you get to the dealership, you're like, I want that.
It's that Sade smooth operator.
Yeah. But then you're sitting there like, dang, I got to drive this to work 5 days a week, and I got to make sure I get there on time. You're looking over at that Ford F-150, and that's Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's just, it's how you get it done.
Yeah. But still, what's Bron's signature move?
Hey, man, that old man looked down at the ground. Step back, Step back.
It's trash though. And Bron from the hood, like Bron, you had a different package. Well, and I'm being devil's advocate here because I know what you're gonna say. But Bron, it just looks so crazy. Like your body can't move anymore.
Hey, listen, man. Everybody that saw LeBron those first, maybe 7-8 years?
Yeah, Cleveland.
Those first 7-8 years, LeBron had a lot of stuff in his bag.
He did. He did.
He was box office in terms of seeing somebody that big being able to move and handle the ball like that.
His jersey fit a little looser too.
A lot looser. But hey man, when you get older, there's limitations, man.
Yeah, and he bulked up. He got real serious about it. So I get it. Even when he do get a couple moves where he hit you and then he get a little jelly, I be looking like, man, he looking like
but his jelly is only after he takes off.
Yeah.
And ain't none of that in motion because it's stiff as a board now.
Yeah.
So.
Which is cool though. He can just power it down. So, but, as of today, we're recording right now and the play-in tournament starts today. Tuesday. The play-in tournament starts today. We'll get into some of that in a second here, but before, let's go through a little quick popcorn of, things that went around the league. Steph, right? LeBron called Steph the MVP this year. I think that part of it was, a little gentleman's thing. Lakers got to play the Warriors in the first 7-8 matchup of the play-in tournament. So I think Brown was just showing love. But he did say that, a lot of people have been referencing the Russell Westbrook year when he won MVP.
Right.
And I think that year OKC was 6th seed. And of course, that was his Oscar Robertson year that was the first year he averaged.
That was the first year KD was gone.
Yep. And he averaged a triple dub. So listen, man, I love it. Like I said, Coach and I, we're gonna have a breakdown of Steph, his season, and what people are saying, and how I think they have some things confused. But he's had a great year, but he's not MVP.
Great offensive year.
Yes, but he's not MVP. I'm saying Joker. Coach has been saying it all year, but I'm going with the Joker.
As soon as LeBron went down and Joel Embiid went down, Joker went right up to the top. And
then Jamal Murray went down for him.
Right, and he didn't skip a beat.
Number 3.
Didn't skip a beat.
Right.
And for him to be an MVP candidate along with Joel Embiid, in this era of basketball where dependent players don't get as many touches and don't get as much love, that's saying something,
And on top of that, he doesn't play with another All-Star.
No.
Right? He doesn't play with another All-Star. And his second best player, offensively at least, went down. Right? And even before he went down, he wasn't having the year he was having, or the moment he had in the bubble.
Nope, not at all.
Right?
Not at all.
So if you look at Joker and what he did with that team to still be number 3 in the West, it's not even a question.
And I'd say the biggest thing is he's been consistent.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think it's like 26, 11, and 8.
Yeah. I mean, what he's going to do It almost reminds me of when the guys used to talk about Kevin McHale back in the day, except Kevin McHale didn't, he ain't passed like Joker, but just in terms of his scoring and rebounding, you knew what he was going to do every night, and there's nothing you could do to slow him down. And Joker, for everything to run through him as a dependent player, I mean, in the West, and they got him at 3 and it's basically a young team.
Very young.
So I mean, he's MVP, man.
Yeah, and I think he's shooting 39% from the trade ball, 56 on the field from the field goal, and 88 from the free throw line. Right, and this is a footer, like 6'9", like 6'10".
26 points a game, man.
With 11 boards, and you can't jump.
Yeah.
Right, and you played every single game of the season.
Yeah.
I got to give it to you, Joker. Yeah. You got my vote if it ever counted.
For sure.
Let's go back to the list there, E. All right. So I see what you're doing, Brian, but Steph number 3 in the voting. Everybody going crazy about it. And I always say this. As a Kobe fan, I don't want to hear anything about somebody having a great individual year and dragging somebody to the playoffs at an 8-7 seed and them deserving the MVP. When Kobe dragged Smush Parker and Kwame Brown and all of them to the playoffs, right? And still only to lose MVP to Steve Nash. And Steve Nash averaged 17 points or something like that. And that was a big scoring year for Kobe. So the league has always been rewarding winning.
Yeah.
Right? So, keep doing that. And he is, he does have argument for being one of the most important players on the floor. He affects it on every end.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Controls pace. So
offense, he's Mr. Consistency.
Here we go. Marv Albert, a legend in so many ways.
Yeah.
Retiring. Yeah, retiring after how many years has it been for Marv Albert?
Things like maybe four decades. Maybe.
4 decades. Marv Albert, I heard about him in Pentagon City. Shout out to Marv, man. Mom's told me about that.
He just had a moment.
Yeah, but everybody got to have him. Marv Albert, one of the voices of the NBA on NBC specifically. I remember, those big playoff games. He's retiring at the end of the Eastern Conference Finals. Thank you. Those voices like Chick Hearn, Hubie Brown, Mike Breland, who just got inducted into the Hall of Fame as well. Those voices are what created that atmosphere around the game. Even Dick Vitale as a college announcer, you wanted somebody to say your name like that.
Sure.
But you were in that era to where it was important. Your pops before you probably listened to the games on the radio. No, it's not. It's real. You watched it. You had the color TV in your time, but how important were those announcers, the color commentary guys?
It was very important because they painted a picture of what was going on. Because at certain moments, you never knew when the screen was going to go out. Not because of the television, just because of the service. You never. How can I say it? You never got the full scope of the game like you do now. You saw one vantage point of each game, where now you might get 20 different angles. And, they just brought things to life, man. And, they gave you backstories of certain players, certain coaches, certain situations that, we didn't get a chance to experience outside of listening to the game, watching the game, because there was no social media.
Yeah.
And so any information we got on our favorite players, our favorite teams, it was, it's from these guys.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Ahmad Rashad too.
Legend.
Yeah. we're going to do a special on Ahmad Rashad, but just thinking about it, Ahmad Rashad is one of those guys for me. Always those interviews, inside stuff. Yeah. I remember seeing the inside stuff hat and was like, man, I always wanted one of those, right? Always wanted. I hope I can find one. But shout out to Marv Albert. You greatly appreciated for what you did for the game. Besides that, Kyrie, 50, 40, 90 club. Only 13 players in the NBA have ever done it. And that's what everybody's saying, and him himself saying basketball ain't my main focus. If you could say that and give me 50, 40, and 90, right? 50 from the field, 40 from the trade, 90 from the free throw line, whatever.
Yeah, the only knock with Kyrie is, all right, we know he's really a shooting guard trapped in the point guard's body. So 50, 40, 90 makes up for all that. You know what I'm saying? We just need Kyrie we just need to know he's going to show up. That's the only thing. We got a game at 7:00. You just need to know where he is.
I'll tell you one thing. That Brooklyn team got me a little nervous.
What's going on in the world and some of his latest comments?
No, I don't care about his comment because his comments ain't affecting his play, and that's what's scary.
I'm talking about his comments in terms of he's been focusing on what's going on in the world, and he's letting everybody know that's his focus. And so at any given moment, being that he has the resources that he has, he could dip out of there to go check on some things.
Yeah, see, I don't think that's going to happen. I think he did all that he was going to do during the season just so he can have it all. I'm talking about the way that Nets team look right now. Ooh, I'm nervous. That repeat I was talking about, man. And they made a small addition. And real hoopers will recognize his name, but Mike James. Right, from overseas. They made a small addition and added him in the last 10 games of the season, and he's been getting 20 minutes or so. He's a problem. He's a real problem. And low key, I saw Spencer Dinwiddie. I don't know if they're gonna put him on the roster or anything, but he looking game shape. His recovery's been great. But right now, with those three lethal weapons and the way they've been moving, whew.
Yeah. I will say this. I know you're a true blue Lakers fan. If it ends up being those two, if the Lakers get past the Warriors, you know LeBron is going to slow the game down and use their size to their advantage.
I do. But I also know that the one time Bron didn't win, or those 2 times he didn't win in the finals, and he had to come to the press conference and they asked him, why couldn't you win this game? He said, because of KD.
Well, yeah. But that's the difference.
That's the only thing.
But Golden State as a whole was different than Brooklyn.
They moved the ball different. Yes, but different. But still, man, you put KD, with KD, and KD. You talked about it last time with players having to raise their level of play in the playoffs. KD always raises his level of play. Like he's not already efficient. You know what I'm saying? So I'm nervous. Look at this off the glass. Come on, man. Like, they're having a lot of fun. That's what it is. Yeah. There's a lot of fun going on over there. But end of the season, all of those end of the season awards are going to be called out. So let's get into some of those and make our own predictions.
Wait, hold on. You're just gonna gloss over the fact that the Jazz clinched the number 1 seed in the West?
The Jazz clinched the number 1 seed in the West.
No disrespect, but come on.
Look, we're gonna talk about this playoff stuff though. But let's get into those end of the season awards though. We haven't really gotten into the playoff stuff, NBA stuff too much. But let's start with Coach of the Year. Because before our recording, that was announced. The candidates were Quinn Snyder from Utah, Doc Rivers from Philly, Tom Thibodeau from New York, Tyronn Lue from the Clippers. All of them very, very good candidates. All of them making a case. But the winner for that was Monty Williams from Phoenix. Big time.
Yeah, well deserved.
Yeah, from a coach, from you, because I'm still in that phase, but from a coach, because you talk about Monty Williams as being a player's guy. Right. And what is it? You won multiple Coach of the Year awards. Like
Monty is, he seems to be that coach that even though he wasn't a great player, you take him seriously and you respect him because he's going to demand a lot out of you and hold you accountable, but he's also going to approach you like a man, first and foremost. And he's always playing to everybody's strengths. You see guys go to Monty and, they seem to have a change in their demeanor, basically because you kind of believe in what he's preaching because everything that he's talking about is to enhance your game. And for him to take a young squad and you add on Chris Paul, who, he's set in his ways because he's a future Hall of Famer, but to be able to mesh all of that together and have those guys competing at a high level in the West is incredible, man. He deserves, he deserves Coach of the Year out of a tough group because Doc Rivers came and changed the culture in Philly.
Yep.
He lit a fire under Embiid. He brought what's my man's Tobias Harris back to life. He's got Ben Simmons being able to stay on the court with Embiid at the same time. Quinn Snyder done a hell of a job. With no disrespect. With the exception of 1 or 2 players, they got a college team. You know, with the exception of one or two players, they have a really good college team. And they grind and hustle every night. They play the right way. And what Tom Thibodeau's done in New York, come on, man.
No, I ain't got no button for you. I'm just,
You know, I see you over there looking for something. Tyronn Lue, I don't know if he should probably be in there, but they needed to just throw him in there. But there
he be throwing the shots, man.
What?
Yeah, I'm listening. Ty Lue ain't have a great season with these guys.
I mean, they're supposed to. What are they doing any different than what they did last year?
I mean, they got a new team.
But they got the same two cornerstones and then two or three key pieces. Same.
See, I don't think they have a lot around them, though. That's why I think it's a solid job. You talk about, you're talking about a college team.
But I'm not saying that that Tyronn Lue hasn't done a good job. I'm just saying in terms of being coach of the year.
Yeah, he's fifth on the list.
When we talking about Quinn Snyder, that's why I said they just needed somebody to add in that fifth spot. I'm just being honest with you, because if Tom Thibodeau, we haven't talked about the Knicks in a positive light in how many years?
That is very true. Very true.
You know, Phoenix, come on. We haven't talked about them since Monty got there.
Man, listen, last year they weren't in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They were playing in the bubble. They were like 9th or 10th seed or something like that. So they barely got a chance to get it.
Right, but in the bubble, they won all their games, but it just didn't work out for them.
Right, because it was just too late.
But again, before Monty got there, were we talking about Phoenix?
Not
Some people didn't even know they had a team anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Then you talk about Doc and Philly. Philly was, a huge disappointment.
Last couple years.
Yeah, huge disappointment. And Quinn Snyder, he's done a hell of a job in Utah. So, it was a tough group. It was a good group to pick from and tough to win it, man.
Yeah.
And well-deserved, Monty.
Yeah. And an award like that, like Coach of the Year, man, I think that for me as a player shows how much I respect you too. Mm-hmm. Right? Because you can't get you get no praise when you win.
Yep.
But when you lose, you got it all on you.
It's all on you.
Right? But for me to buy in, make sure everybody around us buys in so that we can make you look good and making sure that we point that out, that's heavy, especially for Black coaches in any profession. Yeah. So shout out to the Suns for making sure they held the guy down. Yeah. But
before we go, one of the things that helped Monty and probably helped him make his decision in taking the job, look at management.
Yeah, James Jones.
They revamped management, and we all know by living in the DC area that management means everything.
Mm-hmm.
And
but another team on that list, the Knicks.
Right.
Roe White West.
Right. Leon Rose, different management.
Different management. And we only heard one thing about James Dolan at the very, very beginning. Now we don't hear nothing after years of him being more talked about than the actual team.
Yep.
Right. But the one thing I want to get to, because I know you want to talk about this, that Phoenix job was open, right, before the season, as well as the New Orleans Pelicans job, right? Now, we talk about two young teams that had talent, right? Two young teams that had really strong. Brandon Ingram was an all-star. Lonzo Ball has been improving every year that he's got in. Right. And then you also got Zion Williamson. And at the beginning of the year, you had Drew Holiday before you traded him to Milwaukee. But the difference is who you decided to lead those guys, right? And the new management, David Griffin there, right? Because I never thought that Stan Van Gundy was a good choice for that team.
I'm right there with you. So are you asking me if I were a coach, which one I would take, or we just talk about the differences?
You just you talk about it. That's on you.
I mean, you just basically said it. You think about the guys in New Orleans. That's a group that they're all young and they're budding stars, but they've all come from other situations. You talking about 3 or 4 of those guys came from Tinseltown, LA, and now they're coming to New Orleans. How are those guys viewing this move? Are they viewing this move as a second chance to show everybody what we can do? Or are they looking at it as, I just moved from plan A, now they got me in plan B.
Yeah.
They went from the penthouse, now they got me on the 3rd floor and stuff like that. And for them to have an older coach like, Van Gundy, who's set in his ways,
man,
and hardcore,
yeah,
it wasn't a good fit, because those guys, they're still trying to find themselves in this league and be consistent. And so you need somebody who, and this isn't a knock on Van Gundy in terms of him not being a former player or whatever, but sometimes you got to need sometimes you need a former player who kind of understands both sides of it, playing alongside a star and being a good role player and knowing how to adjust according to the talent you have and the personalities you have. But if you're used to just coaching one way, which is, the old guys, our way of coaching is archaic. It's phasing out
quick,
and because this next generation is different. And if you don't have somebody that can, evolve with those guys, they are going to be up and down. And when they're up, it's because they are very, very talented and what you're talking about in terms of X's and O's, which he does. But when they're down, it's a divide in culture.
That motivation difference, right? How are you going to get to them? How are you going to talk to them?
It's a generational divide right there.
And we knew that was going to be a problem when JJ got out of there.
Oh, yeah.
A vet who already had played for Van Gundy when he was the same age as Zion and Josh Hart and Brandon Ingram and all those guys, right? So that was an interesting choice. And then you talk about old coach, Tom Thibodeau. I might be saying his name crazy. Stuck in his ways to a point. Everybody said he always ran his players down to the ground. But I remember hearing Rachel Nichols and a couple other people saying, Doris Burke saying that while he was in the broadcast booth and he was an analyst, he would spend wherever city he would go, he would sit, talk to Doc. He would go here and there and observe and see what they did to keep that young locker room together. Yeah. Now we're seeing it. So you always talk about it, adjustments. Everybody has to make adjustments. So congratulations to the big guy, Monty Williams, man. Go get that. Rookie of the year. There have been some rookies that had some good years. Tyrese Halliburton was a sleeper who had a good year but got hurt out of Sacramento. But it's a two-man race.
Yeah, let's get this. Listen to this, man.
LaMelo
for sure is the odds-on favorite. Had he not been injured, don't even worry about it. But Anthony Edwards is a monster.
Listen, I think Anthony Edwards last night he had another 30-piece. He been putting up some different numbers too to finish it off. Like I think he might got pull up his stats in the last couple of games. It's definitely a two-man race, and I agree with you. I think LaMelo would have won if he hadn't got hurt because at that time Charlotte was number 4 in the East. Yeah. And after he got hurt, they fell, and now they're in the play-in game. But look, his last 2 games, 3 games was 30, 23, and 29, and that was 29 against the Nuggets. He finished the year averaging 19. Yeah. Anthony Edwards is going to be a real, and this is in Minnesota.
Yeah, I know, man.
This is a real deal for everything. So I'm going LaMelo because of just his team had more success, and when he was out, they had a lot of.
You could. Like you said, when he went out with the injury, we saw how important he is to that team.
Yes.
Yes. With Anthony Edwards, Minnesota is going to be competitive some nights, but we know they're still ultimately going to lose.
Yeah, but he letting you know he's different though.
For sure.
If y'all don't take care of him, he will be gone.
Yeah.
No, he gonna get right though. All right, so we get LaMelo there, most improved player. This list, we got Colin Sexton. I think he's like the Tyronn Lue of this category. We got Michael Porter Jr. We got Zach LaVine, Jeremy Grant, and Julius Randle. Michael Porter Jr. has had a better year than last year, yes, but he's still inconsistent at times, especially defensively. So I think this is a 3-person race between LaVine, Grant, and Randle. I know Grant, he started off with like the most consecutive 20-point games in the beginning of the season. But Detroit just ain't winning enough for me.
Yeah, for me, it's between Julius Randle and Zach LaVine.
Yes.
Julius Randle, I've said this numerous times, he's always been a hooper to me. He just wasn't with the right coach that understands his game. He's not necessarily a stretch 4 because he's not that great of a shooter, but he's more of a perimeter 4, a playmaking 4, because he can get to the basket, he can handle the ball, he can dime people off, things like that. I think he's always been able to do this stuff. I just don't think he was with the right system.
Right.
And Zach LaVine, I mean,
all-star.
I mean, you told me about him last year because I ain't really pay attention to him. Whatever. Yeah. I started watching, like, good God, like now he was already playing well, but he just went to a different level. So that's, for me, I would give him the nod. But the Knicks are in the
I'm going to give Julius Randle the nod because he leads the league in ISOs.
Yeah.
Right. So that means at the end of the game, I got to, we barely get to watch any games. I got to watch the game against the Clippers. Right. And he was struggling all night. He ended the game with just 14 points, but he had 14 rebounds, 7 assists. Right. But the last two, like the possessions to clinch it, ISO on the left wing against Paul George. Both buckets. Yeah. Going to his left, pull up, go to his left, in and out, cross, come back here, ice in the game. Now, for me, you're talking about improvement in your game when your team, no matter what ups or downs you're having, because Kobe, I know he gets the ball the last 2 minutes, that's his time to work. No matter what, he might be 5 for 21 that whole game, but he gets it. For me, if you're at a point now to where at the end of the game, no matter what happens, you taking us home after the year before that was in question. And now you guys are number 4, number 5 in the East and a threat to make some noise in the playoffs.
Yeah, but I don't, like I said, I watched them play and he's got high usage with them.
Yes.
Everything runs through him.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying, I've seen him do this before, but he just didn't get enough touches. Because, people are thinking, let's put him on the box, let's keep him, close to the short corner, close to the paint, things like that. Instead of looking at him and like, oh, he's a hybrid.
Yeah.
Let's not, restrict his game. Let's open him up a little bit and give him some freedom. He's been that way since college.
Yeah. In college, he was just a bully, though.
I mean, but he could do everything, though.
Yeah, he was a bully.
You could tell certain players even when he was in LA, you could tell he could do certain things.
Yeah.
He just wasn't allowed the same freedom.
Yeah.
LaVine, I can honestly say that.
Yeah,
I know.
But I think LaVine in the same position as Randall. Because remember, I told you I always was a fan. Yeah. I thought the Minnesota dropped the ball. Yeah. They put their bank on Andrew Wiggins. And I'm saying even Ray Charles can tell the difference, right? Just in the way a ball bounce is different. But they put the money there. But I think and you talk about the coaches he's had, Fred Hoiberg, like that whole situation there, changing coaches and that new coach coming, acting crazy. I think Zach LaVine is one coach away from a situation being completely different. Maybe he goes to New York.
Ooh, yeah.
Right? But I'm going most improved player. I'm there with Julius Randle. 6th Man of the Year award. All right. Categories are Carmelo Anthony, Derrick Rose, Tim Hardaway Jr., Joe Ingles, and Jordan Clarkson.
It's not even just Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah.
That's not. There ain't a debate. Ain't nothing to talk. Everybody else had a good year. Yeah. But we talking about Jordan Clarkson's been playing on a different planet.
Yeah, for sure.
Different level, man.
Yeah, and especially for a team number 1 in the West. Yeah. But you got 2 bench guys there from Jazz. Defensive Player of the Year. This is going to be fun. And I think all 5 of these guys are deserving of this too, right? To where in the last categories, you'd be like, they just toss somebody in there. Everybody deserves to be in this convo in this space. Oh, wow, hold on, actually. All right, so we got Clint Capella, Giannis Antetokounmpo. You think about, look how I pronounce that, though.
Man, shut up.
Bam Adebayo, Ben Simmons, and Rudy Gobert. Clint Capella, you are a rim presence, though, so I understand. Giannis gets a rap for being Defensive Player of the Year because he can block shots, but Giannis can't move laterally. You can't switch him onto a pick and roll like you can with AD, so he can guard all five.
I mean, but AD is AD, so let's not compare him to AD.
But I'm just saying, same body types. You don't give AD the same type of love. But and we're gonna get to a couple more. Bam is undersized. He plays a lot of positions, and he makes it work down there.
Yeah, you got to play that way in Miami.
Yes.
That's
two people left. All right, Rudy Gobert or Ben Simmons, and I'm hearing people are saying Rudy Gobert. I'm actually surprised Draymond is not on the list.
You know, I'm a professional.
That's what everybody keeps saying. I'm just a professional. Everybody keeps saying.
We're gonna give it to Rudy Gobert again.
I'm not. I'm going. I think Ben Simmons is the defensive player.
Yeah, man, somebody who can protect the rim at certain times in the game, perimeter defender, mix it up, weak side guy. Man, Rudy Gobert, like bless his heart, man. He does go hard, man. But nobody's afraid to attack him.
Hey, listen, Rudy be in too many people mixtapes, and yes, when you play defense and you go hard, you bound to get clapped up once or twice or a couple times. But nobody eye is supposed to light up when they see you. Yeah. Like they start dancing, like TikTok dances when they see Rudy.
For all you young bucks out there, Patrick Ewing is one of the greatest centers of all time in the NBA. Known for being a jump shooter, getting buckets. But he was also a pretty good defender.
Mm-hmm.
Good rim protector, he blocked shots. But Patrick Ewing took a lot of flack during his career because he was always on somebody's poster.
Him and Alonzo Mourning.
Yes, and so always on somebody's. But you know what? We gave those guys respect because they weren't afraid to get in the mix.
Yeah.
But on the other end, those guys could score and do other things. But whenever it was a one-on-one situation, people weren't looking at those guys and saying, "Oh, I'm getting to the rack right now." Like you were getting Zoe and Pat when they were coming weak side and they got there too late.
Yeah.
This cat, man, is getting it chest to chest.
Listen, or you say, "Oh, talking about pick and roll." All right, I seen Devin Booker put him in a spin cycle over there. I was like, listen, Ben Simmons guarding all five positions. No matter what the assignment is, all five positions, he going there. He can chase Steph around screens. He can guard Chris Paul on a pick and roll. He can guard Bron in the post and really be a matchup problem. Right. I'm going there, and I don't even see how it's a thing. But Rudy might cry about it. They might say Utah's number one team in the West. Why don't they have more of this? But listen, you the first number one seed. Ain't nobody afraid of.
Yeah, man. And, no disrespect to them. It's just
it is what it is. Man.
If you're consistent throughout the year in the NBA, when other teams are dealing with injuries and load management and all this stuff, the COVID protocol, that's a testament to how well you run your organization, how tough your guys are, how much they buy in. What your coaching staff is doing, but at the end of the day, when you make a run in the playoffs in the NBA, you got to have a couple stars, man.
Listen, yeah, for a title. If you're making a run for a title. So I think we both in agreement with Ben Simmons for that defensive player of the year. I don't think he's going to win. I think Rudy Gobert is going to get it, but Ben Simmons is the deserving one. And I know for MVP, I don't know if the players get to help the vote on that one, but MVP. I'm going Joker. I'm not even going to read the list. Luka, Steph, Giannis, Joel, Embiid. If Embiid hadn't gotten hurt, that was my pick.
Yeah, Embiid would have probably won.
Yeah. Yes. Because his presence defensively is of everybody on that list. Joel is the only one between Joker, Giannis, Luka, and Steph to where his presence on both ends of the floor, you got a game plan for. Right? You got a game plan for where he's going to be at defensively and offensively, that's the primary stop right there, right? Joker, he's going to rebound fairly well and he's going to facilitate and score when he can, but it's a different type of presence with the dominance Joel Embiid has. With that being said, Joe got hurt.
You got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
That's part of the game.
He got hurt and Joker didn't miss a game. 26, 11, and 8. Yeah. Number 3 in the West. Yeah, I don't want to hear any Steph Curry talks about, he should be MVP.
I mean, he was on fire though.
Like, there's a lot of people that be on fire. He was on fire. I think he was like 9 for 22 from the tray ball or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you did your thing the last game, 46, scoring title. Only the second person to do it at 33 behind MJ. MJ was the first.
What did Bradley Beal end up with?
I think he had like 23, so he didn't get the title. His last game, he only had 23, and then he went out and had 43. So, he edged him out. But I don't even think it's a conversation. How is Joker not MVP?
Right.
Could you make an argument for how is Steph Curry over?
I already picked Joker for like two episodes ago.
I'm trying to see because, I mean, is there another All-Star or Hall of Famer on his team?
Nope.
No. Is there like a former Defensive Player of the Year guy on his team? Nothing. Best scorer went down, and he wasn't even having a good year. Right. So, Joker, you got my vote, Gus. Bridgin the Gap podcast. Our MVP is Joker. Our Defensive Player of the Year is Ben Simmons. Sixth Man of the Year, Jordan Clarkson. Most Improved, we got split decision. I'm going Julius Randle, OG going Zach LaVine. And we both.
I mean, no, that's my pick, but Randle's going to win it.
Yeah, well, no, go with your pick. Right? And then Rookie of the Year, we both got LaMelo. And then, Monty Williams already got that. So congrats to the guys. It was a great season. First of all, shout out Adam Silver in the NBA for getting through a season.
Right.
Getting through a season, 72 games, and having this buzz. Like, I can't wait until the playoffs start. Yeah. And we're going to be home to watch it.
Yeah. And for those that don't like the playing game, I love it.
I'm watching. I'm gonna be ready.
Yeah, it's gonna be box office.
I might wake up tomorrow and be a little pissy because I ain't getting no sleep because I stayed up watching the game. But I'm gonna be watching. So let's get into it. Playoff matchups. Let's see what we got here. We know the play-in game. Whew. So it starts today. It's Tuesday. We got LA and Golden State. Golden State is in the Staples Center. Then we got Memphis and San Antonio. All right. So the winner of LA and Golden State plays Phoenix. That's the 7th. They get the 7th seed. The loser plays the winner of Memphis and San Antonio. And then whoever wins that game plays against Utah in the first round. Let's get the play-in picks first. I got Lakers over Golden State. I got us by 8.
All right.
Yeah. What you got, man?
I'm with that.
That's what you said. I need to hear it on wax though.
I got the Lakers over Golden State.
Okay. And then Memphis and San Antonio, I'm going with Popovich.
I'm going Memphis.
Yeah, I'm going with Popovich. One game, I'm thinking all coaching. I wanted to be Memphis, but I think Pop is just going to have them ready.
He's going to have them ready. I just don't know if they have the personnel to get it done.
I don't think Memphis shoots the ball well enough, though, after watching. And then you talked about those young and dumb mistakes that they have made because they're not disciplined right now. Pop is going to account for about 10 to 14 different plays on the adjustments and those things.
But Popovich also does not have Steph Curry out there slinging threes from everywhere.
You're right. Right. But, DeRozan can steal some things for him.
And that's what hurt Memphis in that last game. Yeah. When Dylan Brooks fouled out, it was a wrap.
Yeah.
It was a wrap because now you got different guys taking on that defensive assignment with Steph. And, of course, Steve Kerr does have a good job. He does do a good job of keeping the floor spread and having a lot of big guard action. And it's just, it's a lot of movement, man.
So you see what happens next, right? The winner of 9 and 10 plays the loser of 7 and 8, right? So that would be Golden State plays Memphis or San Antonio. I got Golden State winning that.
Okay.
All right. So with our picks, it would be first round Golden State versus Utah. We got Clippers versus Dallas. We got Denver versus.
Well, don't.
We're gonna break down each one of them.
Okay, well, obviously, but don't go over that first because I was saying how the Clippers got. Is it true that they were tanking? That's the talk right now because they They lost like their last few games
Oh.
to avoid the Lakers, from what I hear.
They want to try to get the, but that might be NBA thing setting it up for a Laker Clippers Western Conference final.
Could be.
And then we got Denver and Portland, and then Phoenix and LA Lakers. All right. So Utah, let's start 1-8. Utah and Golden State. Do we think it's another We Believe 2.0 where, they upset the number 1 seed like they did back in the day?
Yeah, if it's Golden State, Utah, I'm going Golden State. The way Steph is.
How many games?
We'll go 6.
Okay. You got Golden State in 6. If they win the first round of the playoffs, I'm gonna have a different tune.
Because what's his name's not playing for you.
Donovan Mitchell.
That's their dog.
Yeah, he is. He has missed a few games. He's been out like a month. I'm still going Utah.
All right.
I'm still going Utah. I'm going Utah in 7.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a 5-game or a sweep. I'm going Utah in 7. Make sure you got my picks down. Utah in 7. LA, the Clippers versus Dallas. I'll let you pick first.
Well, Dallas is scary because last year, if Porzingis didn't get thrown out the game, that I think was a game 1, Dallas wins that game, and that series is different.
Listen, he healthy now. I think Porzingis been playing the last couple of games. Look, check and see if Porzingis' status. I'm gonna tell you this. That is a matchup nightmare for them. I know Rondo's there now. I know all those good things. So with Porzingis playing, and he's been shooting well enough these last couple games, and he got in his rhythm. Zubac is not enough.
No.
And Luka is dynamic enough, and he controls the pace of the game more than PG and Kawhi. I could see this being a tough one for them.
That's gonna be a good series.
That's gonna be a tough one for them. We got a little dude flying around here, but I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with the Clippers in 7. Clippers in 7. Where you at?
Porzingis healthy. Luka big guard. But the Clippers have Tyronn Lue now. So it's a different dynamic. I go with the
Rick Carlisle, though? You gotta go against Rick Carlisle.
Yeah, but Rick Carlisle doesn't have 2 Rolls Royces on the wings either.
Yeah. They got better 3-point shooting than Dallas, though. That's the ultimate difference. But and so how many games you got the Clippers with?
Oh, it's definitely, I think it could be 7.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So Denver and Portland. Portland on the streak too these last 5-6 games.
I honestly think that Portland can get Denver because their guard play is just going to overwhelm them.
Yeah, I think this is when Terry Stotts has to utilize Melo more.
Right,
the game is going to slow down. Analytics out the window. Game's going to slow down. Yes, you got your 2. What's a small 2-door car? That's a great sports car because they ain't the Lambos and stuff.
Yeah, BMW 325i.
Yeah, you got 2 of those. You know what I'm saying, on both sides. So, but you're gonna have to rely on Melo a little bit more. And I think Melo has a favorable matchup with any small forward, power forward on that team there. But the Joker, and I don't know if Nurkic is healthy, but damn, I'm going Portland. I'm going Portland in 6.
Yeah, I like Denver, and Joker's definitely I think he's gonna get the better of Nurkic. Nurkic was like his old head, really. Yeah. But just come on, man, it's just you got 2 of the most dynamic guards in the league flying around in playoff time, and they haven't been stressed as much as they have been in years past. So I think they'll definitely get Denver.
Yeah, I'm going Portland in 6 too. I'm going Lakers over Phoenix in 6. That was a quick decision.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all let me know.
Yeah, I love Chris Paul to death, love D-Book, love Monty, but it's just as long as AD comes to play, Aiden doesn't just.
That's it. And like everybody talks about, and like you say, Bron is going to control the pace of the game. Yeah. It's going to be a chess match with Chris Paul, though. because Chris Paul saying he ain't gonna just let him slow down the game. Chris Paul gonna grab that thing and he gonna damn near drag his team with him to get up and down the floor. But those are young guys. And Bron plays a chess match from game 1 to game 6, 7, whatever else it is. So he gonna figure it out and dissect them.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Paul, he's going to manage the game and everything, but
he's 6 foot.
He's 6 foot. There's a lot of length on that LA team in terms of THT.
Yeah,
how you say it?
Matter of fact, let me make sure I do this. Number 1 defense in the league. Number 1 defense in the league. So.
I mean, it's just
Caruso.
I mean, it's just a lot of length.
Kuzma.
What's the twins' name?
Morris.
It's just, I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot of long length.
Oh my goodness. Dre Drum.
Yeah.
So now we can slide over. Like we can really have some matchup issues, right?
Right.
We can put AD at the 4, Dre Drum at the 5, Bron 3 or whatever, and then interchange with any of those Kuzma. Got some lineups. We got to hit the 3 well though, but and so then we got Lakers in Portland second round, and then Clippers and Golden State second round. I don't have Golden State getting past second round though, if they win that. Well, I got Utah though. I got Utah winning that first round. So I think I got Clippers and Lakers in the Western Conference Finals.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, everything in LA.
The Battle of LA.
We're gonna make it to LA while we at home, man.
I'm not. No, I'm going on vacation.
I ain't gonna have no money to go nowhere. I'm just gonna make sure I get back to Dubai. All right. So I'm going Lakers and Clippers in Western Conference Finals.
Okay, I'll take that. I'm right there with you.
All right. East Coast. We got the Wizards and Boston playing for that 7 or 8 seed. So if the Wizards beat Boston, they play Brooklyn in the first round. So first of all, who you got winning that one, Wizards or Boston?
That's actually tough because Jaylen Brown is out. Yeah. Boston's been a little dysfunctional this year. And going into that game, it's got to be on everybody's mind whether or not somebody's going to be let go after the year or traded, whatever. And I'm serious, or whether Brad Stevens is going to take another job. Yeah. And so, I haven't seen Boston play with passion like we saw in previous years. And we know Washington is hungry to prove a point. Westbrook wants to show everybody these triple doubles ain't for nothing. And then Bradley Beal's got something to prove, especially he's got a little extra motivation since he didn't win the scoring title.
So where are you going with it?
I'm going Washington.
Me too. One of the reasons why I'm going Washington, and this depends on lineups and rotations that Scott Brooke uses, because they got a young, athletic big that is perfect combination for Russ, because Russ is going to dump them all. You got to have good hands and you got to finish around the rim. I think his name's Gafford. He catches it around the rim. He dunking that thing. He challenging everything. Like he getting it done. So I like him, but he's supposed to be playing behind Robin Lopez and Alex Len. So if they play him enough, I like it. And Bertans. I didn't know Bertans had the ratchet like that. He had the flamethrower at 6'11". Like he come off any screens anywhere, and he putting that thing up there, and it's going in. So I'm gonna go with the Wizards too. And then that means between Indiana and Charlotte, who do you have winning that one?
Healthy LaMelo, I got Charlotte. Because he and his backcourt mate, they're gonna be a problem.
Yeah, I like Charlotte, but I'm going with Sabonis and LeVert.
Okay.
I'm going Indiana. I'm going Indiana wins that one, and then they play Boston, and they beat Boston too. Yeah, right. They beat Boston too. Going into that, like you said, say it now so we can have it framed. Where's Brad Stevens going at the end of the year?
Might be in Indiana.
Indiana Pacers. That's what Coach called it. And you heard it here first. That's an exclusive for you right there. So then we got Charlotte, or we got Indiana and Philly, Brooklyn and Washington, Milwaukee and Miami, New York Knicks and Atlanta. That New York Knicks and Atlanta matchup at 4-5, that's vintage.
Yeah.
That's vintage right there. Like That's Dominique
And Pat.
and Pat. Like, that's vintage hoops, man. So, Brooklyn and Wizards. I got Brooklyn sweeping them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Russ gonna try too hard because he see KD over there.
Right.
It's a wrap. It's done. I got Philly sweeping the first round too.
Yeah.
So
I get that.
Now, Milwaukee, and Miami.
Whew, that's gonna be tough.
And Milwaukee and Miami's been playing very, very, very well these last 5 games. Like, quiet as kept. They've caught their stride defensively. Everybody's back healthy and they've been playing together. And you know how Spo gets when it's time for him to scheme. And they all buy in. And they are the Eastern Conference champs defending.
No, but Drew Holiday and that Milwaukee team, that's a different squad right now.
I'm always worried about Chris Middleton and those other guys. We're talking about playoffs.
But those guys actually haven't been the problem. The problem has been two key people.
I think coaching staff.
Coaching in terms of just getting Giannis to do different things, and then Giannis.
Yeah.
I mean, Middleton, you look back and he's always he's been doing what he's supposed to do.
So who you picking here then?
I'm going to go Milwaukee in 7. It's going 7.
Oh yeah.
It's going 7.
It's going to go 7. Jimmy Butler just tough. I'm not betting against Jimmy. I like Jimmy a lot.
I like Jimmy a lot too, but
I like him a lot. And I like Spo. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna make my decision based on coaches. I'm gonna go Miami in 7.
Okay.
Based on coaching. Right? Because I think adjustments, mid-game adjustments, mid-series adjustments are gonna make a difference here. Right? Because they're gonna come out zone. Because Milwaukee hasn't figured out a zone in the last 3 years.
But they haven't had Drew.
Granted, they haven't.
So
they haven't.
It's a new
but
year.
I think it's a lot to put on Drew. Right? So, but this is the one that's tough too. New York and Atlanta.
As much as I like to see New York move on, Atlanta's just, I think they're going to be on the roll.
Really?
Yeah.
I think, but New York can get more stops than Atlanta. Like I know that. I know they can get more stops consistently. Like, they can string together back-to-back stops. And
Atlanta's going to be scoring, though.
They're going to be scoring that thing. They're going to be. But New York has been putting up the pace too. When they have D-Rose and Quickly and all those, they get to it.
Yeah, but them cats ain't got to deal with young fella 4 or 5 nights in a row, Trae Young.
Yeah.
Big difference.
But still, on the flip side, like, Julius Randle going to get a lot of those. John Collins, that's a tough matchup for him. I don't know if he's going to show up. Like, I don't know. It's tough for me, but I'm going to go Knicks.
All right, I got ATL.
You got the ATL? All right, I'm going to go Knicks. I'm going to do that at Knicks in 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Knicks in 6. So that means Philly and the Knicks for me, Philly and Atlanta for you, Brooklyn and Miami for me, and Brooklyn and Milwaukee for you.
Yep.
Now, who do you have winning between Philly and whoever they play?
Man, it's going to be Brooklyn and Philly.
Brooklyn and Philly for the final?
Yeah.
Yes, I do agree. So we got Brooklyn and Philly on the East and Lakers and Clips on the West.
Yep.
What we got? Who we got in the chip?
I got, see, it's tough because if Embiid is healthy, Brooklyn has no answer for him.
Man. And Doc know what to do with it.
Yeah. Just because I know how dysfunctional Harden can be in the playoffs sometimes.
Ooh, you betting against them?
I'm going Philly. I know Brooklyn is the
it look good.
It looks real good, but man, we talk about in a dog fight 5-6 games in a row. I mean, you think about it, if Kawhi doesn't hit that shot, Philly would have been in the finals without Doc.
Yeah.
So I'm going Philly, and then against the Lakers.
Yeah. That Philly-Brooklyn game, that Philly-Brooklyn series is a real deal.
It's gonna be hot.
Because I'm just sitting here thinking, just matchup based, right? Brooklyn is still really small.
Yeah.
Even when we talk, just not even talking about Embiid, right? Because they still bring Dwight Howard off the bench.
Yep.
They got Danny Green. That's a big guard on the
That
league.
can shoot.
That can shoot.
Yeah.
Championship experience. You got Tobias Harris, big guard, plays big, right?
Yeah.
You got Ben Simmons, 6'10", right? You got Tyrese Maxey is coming off the bench, a young boy doing things like that Philly team, man. Whew. But I'm never going against Slim Reaper.
All right.
Never. I can't.
Dang, I thought Embiid was your guy.
He is. I do love Embiid. I wish he was a Laker. But you
gotta make a decision at some
I do. The time is ticking. I'm a bet with Brooklyn.
Okay.
I'm a bet with Brooklyn. Brooklyn in 6.
Okay.
Lake Show. Lakers versus Brooklyn in the chip. And we get that one.
Okay.
And we get that one. All sides. Right? And Lakers repeat. And then we all go out and watch Space Jam. We all go get Space Jam. But let's get to, that's our stuff there. But let's get to the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Get to the Hall of Fame at the end. First things first, Kobe, Tim Duncan, KG. Fire! Congratulations to the class of 2020. Several others were in there, but Kobe, KG, and Tim Duncan headlined that class. You know, all three of them, I believe, came in together, or Tim Duncan might have came in a year after. But those guys, those three are their era. We talked about that. That's their era. Rudy T, Timothy Catchings, Kim McCulkey, Barbara Stevens, Eddie Sutton. That's some legendary names as far as coaching goes. But congratulations to them. We talked about Kobe already. God bless. Man, undoubtedly, like those are two greatest power forwards ever. All right. Tim Duncan and KG go in. Kobe, my GOAT. I'm saying the greatest ever, but OG to say second best shooting guard ever, top 10 ever. That's a tough class right there. Congrats to them. 2021 Hall of Fame has been announced. Those three that are going to headline that. Paul Pierce. Shout out to our guy, Paul Pierce. Fire! You know if you know. We got our guy, your guy, Chris Webber. And then
Chaz.
And Ben Wallace. And
HBCU.
Yes, and Bill Russell is going in as a coach, along with Jay Wright. Bill Russell, you gangster. And Rick Alderman is going in as well, but Bill Russell, gangster. You going in as a coach after already going in as one of the greatest players ever. Yeah. And you didn't just coach anybody. You coached the Celtics.
You coached the Celtics in basically a civil rights era in Boston.
Man.
And you won 2 championships.
Yeah. Well, what's that? And I believe is Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh is a part of this class as well. So it's Chris Bosh, Paul Pierce, Ben Wallace, and Chris Webber. What do you guys say about this class?
I don't know. Ethan keeps moving the thing so fast I can't keep up with it.
Let's start up there with Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh, man, 11-time NBA All-Star, 2-time champ. He averaged 19 and 8. When he was in Toronto, he was all that and everything.
Right.
ACC Rookie of the Year, McDonald's All-American. Even in high school, he was 40-0, like Olympic gold medal. And he only ended because he got for the blood clot issues. Right. He would have still been playing now.
Yeah, he did. He did everything that you could do as a basketball player at a high level, and his book was cut short.
Yeah,
he was probably have 3 or 4 more chapters left in his book, but he had to end it, prematurely due to health issues, and it's well deserved, man, for him to be the man at every stop along the way, getting to Miami and then taking a back seat and being one of the best NBA playoff role players ever and winning a championship, man, 2 championships and going to finals. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah, you handled your business, big dog. So, congratulations to you, Paul Pierce. I mean,
The
truth.
Truth.
Coldest nickname in the game. Like, you know, he is what he is. You don't have to Google that, big dog. We already had some up. Yeah. Paul Pierce, 10-time NBA All-Star, 2008 champion, Finals MVP. I mean, and he stayed with the Celtics through thick and thin.
Right.
Right. He 19 all-time in NBA scoring. He might be like number 1 or 2 in Celtics history, too, on top of that. 9th all-time in free throws made and 3 balls made. It's a bucket. You know, it is what it is. Straight out of Inglewood, and he was always Inglewood, right?
Yeah.
On and off the court. The truth, man. Bill Russell. It just still is crazy to me. Bill Russell, man. Like, it is just enough said. Thank you, Bill. Thank you. Ben Wallace.
Didn't we do something on him early on when we first came to Dubai? And we were talking about unsung heroes,
Yep.
and being the best at what you can do, and embracing it, and playing at a high level. Well, Ben Wallace is that guy. We all know he was an undersized center.
Say exactly the size, though, Coach. Because just thinking about it, like, just so they can visualize it.
6'8". I know they had him listed at 6'9" in certain situations.
That's what the fro.
Listen,
You're really like 6'6".
I've been shoulder to shoulder with Ben on several occasions. He's 6'8". 6'8", no body fat, but still light back there in terms of playing in an era where big men were still dominant.
Shaq, Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
Like,
and, you know, we all know Ben was very robotic with the ball on the offensive end. But, you know, he didn't turn the ball over. He made the right decisions. You know, he found the open guy. He rebounded the ball well. But his presence was felt in terms of being the enforcer on the court. And he was a true controller of the paint. You know,
4-time Defensive Player of the Year, King.
Yeah. Only 6'8", but when you came into the paint, you were looking around to see where he was.
Right. 4-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
He was an all-star 4 times, all defensive team 5 times, and then all NBA second team 3 times.
And NBA champion.
NBA champion.
And who they beat?
I don't remember.
I think it may have been the Lakers.
It might have been 04.
Was it 4-1?
Dang, all right. You don't have to look that up. We know the stats, man. Look at this. We know it's true. It's all right, man.
Okay.
It led the league in blocks 1 year and rebounding twice. So, again, shout out to you. This next guy, Chris Webber, 5-time NBA All-Star, Rookie of the Year, All-NBA first team in 01, second team 3 times. Led the NBA in rebounds 1 year. You know, averaged more than 20 points 9 years in a row. Fab 5. 2 Final Four appearances. All-American. High school basketball phenom. McDonald's All-American MVP. You know, Prep Player of the Year in high school. C-Web.
Yeah, finally.
You say, is it long? Like, should he have been earlier, first ballot, second ballot, or is this deserving for?
Only being a 5-time NBA All-Star, they're not going to put you in the first, you know, especially not having won a championship.
Yeah.
So, you know, he had to wait a little bit.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Deservingly so. But again, we do apologize. That's big money right there. Hall of Famers, man. That's a mighty feat.
Right.
You don't. Nobody goes into the NBA path thinking, all right, I'm going to be a Hall of Famer. That's what it is. You probably realize it midway through or something like that. Because right now there's a couple guys, before we wrap it up, they got a list now of like the next 25 to consider.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are all playing except for 2. I think that's Dirk and D Wade. But they give you a percentage. Bron, D Wade, Dirk, 100% probability they get in. KD, Steph, Chris Paul, Russ, James Harden, Dwight Howard, Melo, Vince Carter, Paul Gasol. Then you got guys like AD and Kevin Love to where you still got to figure those things out. All right? What you looking at, man? What you thinking? Some of these guys don't. Yeah.
First, I want to know who came up with the number for Chris Paul, 99.9%.
Right.
Come on, man. Like,
what's the difference?
Like, come on, man. Let's stop. Steph Curry, what was his? 99.87. Like, what one idiot?
Vegas.
Come on, man.
Somebody betting against them.
No, I agree with all of this. Dwight Howard will be in. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he will be a first ballot guy.
Man, I don't like his braids. He gotta be second ballot just off the hairstyle. He look crazy.
Is it the braids or is it the color?
Both. What type of mix is that, big dog? Okay. Like weirdo.
Melo would be a first ballot. Vince, if he gets in first ballot, I'm not upset, but he'll probably be second ballot. Pau Gasol.
So do you think that guys that leave the game out of retirement and then go into commentating or being around the game in that capacity so people can kind of still hear and think about and see what their impact was, you think that changes the narrative for Hall of Fame?
For sure. That helped Chris Webber a lot.
Yeah.
Because Chris Webber's image was somewhat tarnished for some ridiculous reasons for things, early in his career. But it helps a lot. It gives people a different perception of you. The biggest example of this and most recent is the late, great Kobe Bryant. Mm-hmm. There were so many negative narratives about him as a player that him coming out and being more engaged in the game of basketball as an onlooker or a contributor as opposed to a player made everybody say, whoa, man.
Yeah.
Kobe's a likable guy.
Yeah.
And that changes perception a lot, and so you think about what Vince is, I think he's still learning on the fly.
Hey, man.
But
that's how Vince, the reason why I'm sure we're going to be all right. Hey, man, we're going to be A-okay.
But yeah, it definitely helps. Anytime you're in the eye of the public and you're doing something positive, it's going to help a lot.
Yeah. So, but that's an interesting thing to watch, though, the Hall of Fame thing. It'll be interesting. But again, playoffs are here. Yep. So these next couple of podcasts is going to be all about that basketball, that playoff bump. We love to see it. Our kids going to have to deal with us not having no rest coming in there. Shout out to J. Cole, real quick. Just shout out to J. Cole, living out your dreams. If you can make it happen, if you got enough bread to go take off 6 months, 7 months, drop an album, man, prepare for a game, go do your thing.
Right.
Shout out to that.
The Rwanda Patriots battle.
Yeah, the African Basketball League, the Basketball Africa League, I think BAL. Shout out to you, big dog. We'll get to that later. And it's another rapper that just got onto a Paris team.
What?
Yeah, listen, I just asked my bro how much you think it costs to be a Laker. We're gonna make it happen though. So shout out to everybody. But we wrapping it up. That's episode 25 for us. Man, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. 25 episodes in. A few episodes you guys had to listen to some crazy audio. We made it work though. We've been growing and building. Thank you to everybody that's been supporting us. From when it was only one person to now it's on a few more. Thank you guys. As always, you can find us in Dubai and the UAE, Hoopmountain.ae, Hoopmountain.DXB, your favorite basketball enthusiast. You know how we end it. Post-game wrap-up, OG.
Right. Well, you talked about us in our transition with the podcast. I know everybody's probably like, why Coach's voice is so raspy? It's because, we have a big event coming up this Friday, and it's time for a little payback. So I've been on my guys real hard. I give you props. You talked to the referee a little bit, got some questionable calls there, and got a dub on us. But that's all right. We coming back. But
John Chaney almost choked Tyler Perry because of that.
This is for all of our Hoop Mountain hoop stars that may be listening or watching, and this is in terms of preparation for our next game. Don't go into your next game without thinking about what you're going to do, knowing what you're supposed to do, and visualizing how you're going to do it in the game. Because if you can't visualize yourself playing in the game with your teammates and against your opponents, it's going to be hard to just flip on a switch and try to get things done the day of. So everything that you do day 2, day 3, day 4, leading up to the game matters in terms of what your overall performance is going to be that day.
This how I know you really came in ready. You know, I don't know what you worked on with that group today, but you probably pulled something out the book. I'm not a coach.
Come on.
I'm learning. I don't know as much about basketball as you.
You've been around Coach Roll and all these. Come on, man, shut up.
I'm trying to figure out.
Coach Ivan Thomas, Coach
I've never ran a practice like that before, but it's okay.
Man. Come on.
Y'all see this? You see this? He sent a little code words out to his guys like, yo, you better be ready. All right. And this is for my guys and my girls. Rise to the occasion. All right. It's for everybody. Rise to the occasion. Your moment comes. Everybody doesn't have a moment like this to where you can grasp an opportunity. You can go make that job change. You can go, you about to get married, whatever else it is. Rise to the occasion. Things are changing. It's your opportunity to make something big happen. Rise to the occasion and do what champions do. Make the best of it. All right? So that's episode 25. What's up?
How does your wrap up have theme music?
Yours always does at the end. Come on, hater. Let it ride out. As always, keep going. Keep it simple. Keep it real.